Breaking news out of the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys are trading Micah Parsons to the Packers. It's according to our lead NFL insider, Jonathan Jones. JJ adding Dallas getting 2 first-round picks and a player. Parsons and Green Bay also agreeing to a 4-year, $188 million deal with $136 of that guaranteed. The deal makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in league history at $47 million per year. If you take a look at this list, there's been a lot of change, especially the edge rusher defensive player department. Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, Jamar Chase, TJ Watt, and now one Micah Parsons with that Green Bay logo next to his name. I'm Tommy Tran with Jonathan Jones and Pete Prisco. So, JJ, I laid out some of the details that you were able to report here. What more can you tell us about Micah Parsons to Green Bay?
Major bag alert. Micah Parsons and the Green Bay Packers. Look, these sorts of deals don't happen all the time. If you go back to 2018, when Khalil Mack was traded, and he went for 2 ones, there was a little bit of change, a second and a third, a fifth and a sixth, and he got the highest contract given to a non-quarterback in NFL history at the time. It was about $24 million per year. Now Micah Parsons almost doubles that, and he blows out of the water the previous highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history, right? You know, Myles Garrett did it earlier this year at $40 million. And then Jamar Chase, topped him just barely, but just enough to where he got the headline, right? We went up on CBS Sports HQ about it. And then TJ Watt and the Pittsburgh Steelers, he got to have that title for a little bit, but we told you he wouldn't have it for long. Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys could not come to terms on an agreement. It got ugly. It got nasty. It got disrespectful for both sides, real or perceived. And so for the last few days, both sides have sort of been working very quietly about how Micah Parsons could get out of Dallas, because he was dug in and Jerry Jones was dug in. And these two sides were not going to be able to come to an agreement, even if it was going to be, I think, $45 million per year, which was sort of the basement, is what I had been told and what I had been reporting. And so the Green Bay Packers come in and send 2 ones, which matches the Khalil Mack deal. They add in another player, which reportedly right now is Kenny Clark. We're still working to confirm that, but should be able to confirm it soon. And they pay him $47 million per year. This is about as big a deal as you're going to see in the NFL. And the Green Bay Packers, 2 legendary franchises, the Packers and the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC, they get this done.
Pete, let me bring you to the conversation. What do we think?
Wow, wow, and wow again. I sat in Matt LaFleur's office with him a couple weeks ago, and one of the things he talked about and lamented about was the fact that they weren't good enough rushing the passer. Well, all of a sudden, they're good enough rushing the passer. I mean, anytime you can go get one of the league's best, if not the best, edge player, edge speed rusher in the league, and you can do it for 2 ones and a player, you go do that. Normally, I hate these kind of deals. I hate trading pays. But you know what? You're getting a 26-year-old elite edge rusher on a team that has enough talent that I picked them to go to the Super Bowl before this trade. I love this for the Green Bay Packers. I do not like it for the Dallas Cowboys. I understand, like JJ said, they were all dug in and it looked like nothing was going to get done. That's just stubbornness on Jerry Jones's part. But if you're the Green Bay Packers and you're a Packer fan, you have to be thrilled with this. It's a great move for the Packers.
And JJ, I will get back to you from a Dallas perspective in just a second as we take a look at Micah Parsons' career profile, which already has been fantastic. But Pete, I'm going to go back to you. You mentioned how bullish you've been on this Green Bay team. How does Micah Parsons impact this team? How does he fit in right away?
Well, you know, Rashad Gary's a good player. It didn't play up to expectations last year, in large part because he didn't have somebody on the other side who could dominate. Well, now he does. And you can move him all around. And you look at what they have on the other side. Lucas Van Ness has had a good training camp, and he'll be a rotational player now. The more you have to attack the quarterback, the better. And I think that's why this move is so important for the Green Bay Packers. When you go on the road, if you have to go on the road in the postseason, you need sack, fumble, game over. Well, now you have that guy. That's what Micah Parsons does. And I think if you're the Green Bay Packers, it's a great move. If Kenny Clark is indeed part of the deal, look, bottom line is they drafted they have two young defensive tackles that they like, both of them out of Georgia. And I think Stackhouse and Brinson are big body guys that can help them in the middle of that defense. They have Devontae Wyatt in there as well. So when you look at this group, the Packers all of a sudden now on defense have playmakers. You can add in Edgerrin Cooper as well, who I think has a chance to be in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year. Wow, that defense has gotten a lot better.
These two teams will face each other week 4. We know Dallas starts a week from tonight against the Eagles here. And JJ, let me go back to you about Dallas, because there was a big thought that this would be like it was with CeeDee, like it was with Dak, given what Jerry Jones and company has been doing. Before I get to you, I want to read something that Micah put out in a statement that I thought was interesting. He said, in the middle of it, quote, "I never wanted this chapter to end, but not everything was in my control. My heart has always been here, and it still is. Through it all, I've never made any demands. I've never asked for anything more than fairness. I only asked that the person I trust to negotiate my contract to be part of the process." Again, that's the middle of what is a long statement here. Take me through how surprising this is, given everything you heard about what Dallas does with its star players, yet this time it's different.
So that point, I only asked that the person I trust to negotiate my contract be part of the process. You got to go back to earlier in the offseason. Jerry Jones does what he typically does. He is talking with a player. Jerry Jones believes that he has negotiated what I think he would term a gentleman's agreement. And I want to say that because I don't want to act like Micah Parsons was ungentlemanly, right? But he thought that they basically had a back of a napkin handshake agreement. And then, so he's like, okay, well, we got a deal. Micah Parsons said, well, hold on. I don't negotiate my deals. I pay a percentage to one of the best, if not the best agent in the game, David Mulligetta, to negotiate my contracts. And so that's when he got his agent involved. And Jerry Jones then took umbrage with that, thinking that, no, we had a deal, now you're going back on your word. I was not a part of those conversations. Both sides very much believe in what they believe. And so that's part of the reason that Micah Parsons is now in Green Bay and not Dallas, because what he believes happened, what Jerry Jones believes happened, wherever the truth is, that's what they understand the truth to be. So then you can't really get an agreement, because no matter what Jerry Jones is going to hang on to, we had that deal, and that deal was good then. That deal would still be good today, according to Jerry Jones. But the market has shifted, and it has shifted in a major, major way. And not only that, but again, the disrespect that Micah Parsons had felt doesn't go away. You can't erase that. So when he issues that trade request, Dak Prescott didn't do that during his contract negotiations. CeeDee Lamb didn't do that. This was always different. And I don't know if you want to call it stubbornness on one or both sides, if you want to call it whatever you want to say. This started to become a reality that Micah Parsons would no longer be with the Dallas Cowboys over the last probably 48 hours. And so now we have this major deal where the Green Bay Packers, they have a history of getting big-time pass rushers, right? You go back to Ron Wolf when he was able to secure the services of Reggie White at the dawn of free agency in the 90s. You go back to Ted Thompson when, after Julius Peppers had put together an all-decades playing career with the Carolina Panthers and Chicago Bears, he gets Peppers to go to Green Bay as a free agent. And now Brian Gutekunst, the GM of the Packers, gets Micah Parsons in a major deal that includes 2 first-round picks and the largest contract that has ever gone out to any non-quarterback in NFL history. Not just that, but the largest contract that's gone out to any player who's not like one of a dozen people in the world ever. This is as big as it gets for the NFL.
Guys, I'm with Amanda Guerra. She does have a question here with this big news with Micah Parsons leaving Dallas.
Yeah, I specifically want to ask because JJ and Pete, I mean, they're so vocal. And guys, I got to know about the fallout